Hello everyone, my name is Joanne and today is Saturday, February 18th. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. And welcome to those of you who have decided to give me another try. This is my FlossTube number 2. I haven't been here in a while. I recorded at the beginning of the year and just trying to find time to do this again. So today I just want to show you some of my FFOs. I had 4 projects finished. I actually sent them off to a professional finisher and I think they're great. I think they turned out so cute. I'm very happy with the service I received. I had these done by Artie, the Vintage Stitcher. If you don't know who she is, you can check her out at the Vintage Stitcher. She has a FlossTube channel. And so I gave her a try. I've seen what she's done to other customers on her channel, and I just thought I need to give her a try. And I'm glad I did. She did an amazing job, and I am happy to place these in my office where everyone can see. So let's get started. This first one that I'm showing you, this is called When I Think of Stitching. Make sure I get that lighting. This is a puntini chart, and I started this in April of 2022 and finished it in August. I am not a monogamous stitcher. I do stitch on a lot of things at the same time. Right now I have probably about almost 30 whips. So I do take some time to finish stitches and I'm okay with that. I just love stitching whatever, makes me happy. So I stitched this on an Ada by Swigart, and it's a vintage country mocha. This is on a 14 count fabric. When I started stitching, I did a lot of 14 counts. Miss Artie put this nice vintage fabric on the back, which I think turned out really cute, and I really love it. And then she added the bow on the top with the button. So there's the first one. This next one, I think it's one of my favorites. This is a Teresa Kogut chart. This came from her Let Love Rain booklet. This is called How Much I Love You. And I stitched this on a 14 count Ada by Picture This Plus, color Ren. Now on all these charts, I usually use DMC and I will use the call for colors. So all of these were done with the called for colors. And she just put this on a piece of board or frame, and I have to find something to attach it to the back to make me hang it up, or maybe I'll just lay it on the bookshelf like I've been doing. So there's that. This next chart is called Stitching is My Happy Hour. This is a Needle and Bling Designs, and I stitched this on a 14 count Ada by Lori Holt, and it's the color Oatmeal. And this was also placed on a board. This one actually came with a hook, so I just have to hang it up and it's ready to be displayed. So she put this on a piece of board and then added a bow to it. So I love that one too. Now I started this one in December of 2021 and I finished it in July. Like I said, I'm not a monogamous stitcher. I do stitch a lot of different charts. So it does take me a while. Now the How Much I Love You, I started that. I actually did that one for a challenge in August, and I actually stitched this in 2 weeks. But the challenge was that you start and finish it in the same month. So this one was actually completed in 2 weeks. But that's all I stitched in those 2 weeks was that chart there. This last one that I have completed is called French Country Rooster. Excuse me. Sorry about that, I had a tickle in my throat. So this is French Country Rooster by JBW Designs. I started this in November of 2021 and finished it in July 2022. And this is, I did say JBW. So this one here is stitched on a 25 count Lugana. This is the color pale green. I have bought this fabric to stitch something small on it. This is the first time that I ever stitch on Lugana or anything other than Aida. I don't know that I'll go back to linen or even weave. I mean, I've never stitched on linen, but this even weave was my first time stitching on that, and it was okay. It was a little bit of a challenge at first, but I did okay with it. This is just on a piece of block. This is like a little block, and she stuck it on the back of that. I thought she did great with that. Added the trim and the rickrack, and I think it looks great. So thank you, Ms. Artie. I really love these. These look great in my office, and they're get a lot of comments when they're seen. So thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my whips, and then we'll go into that. So before I go into my whips, I did want to show, I don't do a lot of haul. I have a lot of things I think now that I can stitch on, but I am part of the Stackables Club from Fat Quarter Shop. And that's the first club I've ever signed up to. I thought these were so cute, so I had to sign up. And so I wanted to show, I did get my February stackables. I'm sure a lot of you may have seen these by now. But the kit comes with the chart, and then it comes with the Classic Colorworks colors. And I think those are so pretty. Those colors are amazing. So I do use of course, I use the colors of that, and then I just use a white Aida to stitch this on. So this is really my only haul that I have. I am stitching the January stackable. I have not started the February yet. I am stitching the January, and you'll see that in my whips. Now, these whips, they're not in any particular order. I've worked on this in the last month since my last video. Unfortunately, I'm not very techy when it comes to video, so I don't have a before picture, but I'll try to do my best to explain what I've completed since I last showed this in my last video, which was actually my whip parade. This first one that I'm going to show you is called French Country Butterfly. This is a JBW Designs. Actually, let me show you what it's supposed to look like. There's that there. Sorry about the glare. And in the last month, what I've been able to do is I've been able to finish that wing there. I am stitching this on a 14 count Aida by Charles Craft. It is a printed fabric that I purchased at Michael's, and it's got like a pink, bluish, green color. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not, too much lighting. But there's a little bit, it's just a printed color. And I am using DMC 115. So it's a variegated DMC. I'm still getting used to using this type of DMC. A lot of people like that DMC color. So I'm a loop start person, so it's been a little bit of a challenge to do this. I think what I've been doing is just kind of taking smaller pieces and just using one strand and folding it in half and doing the loop method and just kind of switching it around with the color. So it's really the only way I can get some of that variegation, because other than that, I just have a difficult time starting it because there's so many starts and stops here. But there's that one. Hopefully I can finish this in the next couple of months. I've been working on this for a little bit, but like I said, I stitch on a lot of things, so I do pick this up when it comes up in my, I'm not going to say rotation, I'm not a planner per se. I have one of those random wheel pickers, and so all of my whips are on the wheel, and so when I want to stitch I randomly pick a chart and I work on that. And sometimes I work on that for 30 minutes. Sometimes I'll work on that for 2 or 3 days consecutively. My stitching time is usually early in the mornings between 6 in the morning and 6:30 in the morning before I leave out to work. Or in the evenings, I may be able to spend an hour in the evenings. Um, so I don't really plan. I just stitch on whatever. If that random wheel gives me a chart that I'm just not in the mood for stitching, I will select again. But that kind of at least doing the wheel will kind of, gets me to do working on other stuff too. This next chart is called Remember. This was actually a start in January. I actually stitched this for a Baringo, which was a challenge that is hosted by Seasook Stitch, Carolyn, and Robin at Bird's Eye Stitches. So they have a group, a monthly magazine group on Facebook, and they do this challenge in January called Baringo. So I participated in that. A lot of the charts that I'm showing today were part of that group. Or the challenge that I worked on. So they all got some stitching done that month. The challenge is to stitch 100 stitches or 1 hour. And so what works best for me is to count count the hour. I don't count stitches, so I keep track of the hour. Sometimes I didn't stitch on hours straight. Sometimes I got 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there, so I did have to keep track because I worked on it as I had time. So that's Remember, and this actually came from the Just Cross Stitch August 2022. So I picked that up, and this is how much I was able to get done. And like I said, this was a new start. Maybe I should put it here like this. But this is stitched on a 16 count Ada by Witchold, and it's a color amber. I now stitch more 16 count. I've tried 18 count, I didn't like it. I will do 14 count, but anymore I do more 16 than 14. So there's Remember. And this one shouldn't take me too long to finish it. If I stick to it a couple more times, I think I should be able to finish it. But that was the start. This next one is called Autumn Love. It's It's by Lori Hall. It's Be in My Bonnet. And I didn't even show it to you. Sorry. This is what the chart looks like. And this came from Fat Quarter Shop. So I'm stitching. I started in the corner here. And I was able to work on it, I think it was 3 days. I finished this motif here. I added some more border and I started this piece here. It is a big chart. This is probably going to take me a couple years to finish. Hopefully not. But I work on this a little bit at a time. I don't, the border, when it comes to the border, I just can't stitch on something for too long. That's repetitive. So I do jump around. Even when I do the colors, I jump around, and I wanted to start at something new. So a lot of people will finish their borders first and then start stitching the inside. I think I spent too much time working on the same thing consecutively, and it just drives me crazy. So I'll stitch on it as I go. So there's that. This one is the January Stackables. It's a very wintry chart. It's very cute. And I'm almost done with the top. I started this one in the top. This I also started in January. I'm almost done with it. I've got the white hanging here. I started working on the inside. So, and that's all I've done. I would like to say that I wish I could start these charts in the month that I get them and finish them in the month, but sometimes it doesn't happen. And sometimes I'll spend more than 2 or 3 days on a chart. If I really like the way it's going, I like the flow, and I really like the chart, then I'll work on it. And then sometimes I just have to put it down and move on. This next one is my oldest whip. I started this whip in July of 2021. I started stitching in June of 2021, and in July I went to Joann's Fabric, and I saw this chart. I had just started. This is the second chart I ever bought, and I just picked it up. I thought it was really cute, and I started working on it. I will tell you that it's not my favorite, only because it's so confetti. In this last month, I stitched this section here, these blues here, and I kind of came over here. I thought, well, let me start something different. So I started here and was going to move on here. I'm just getting tired of stitching that inside. I don't want to put it away. I don't want to UFO it because I do like it. I think it's a really cute chart, but it's tough. I still have to back stitch these flowers to kind of make them pop. I think they look great when they have that back stitch, but it's just, I don't know. This one here is not one of my favorites, but it is on my wheel. Maybe, maybe not. You know, and I'll just pick it up if I, you know, feel like it. It's just been difficult. It's a really cute chart, but it's just not my favorite. But I don't want to let it go just yet. I'll just leave it there. This next one is also an oldie one. I started this back in July of 2022. I keep forgetting to show you guys the picture. So this is called For Thee, Live, Laugh, Love. This is a Lila C. Umstead from Lila Studio. I think this is a free chart that I found online. Yes. And I think I just needed to stitch. I don't know. I saw this and I thought it was really cute. So I started working on it. I don't have a lot of it done. I am stitching this on an 18 count Aida, white Aida. And that's all I've done so far. Sorry about that. So yes, I think this is the only one that I have that is 18 count Aida. But what I worked on this month is filling in on the inside. I pretty much had the outside border done, and then I started the inside. I do like this one. I think it's just so much in this chart that I just kind of get overwhelmed when I look at it. So I don't stitch on it a lot. But it is on my wheel. So it will come out from time to time. This next chart is called the Wizard of Oz Tree. It's a tiny modernist chart. This came out, I think, at the 2022 Nashville Needlework Market. I just saw it. I've always been a fan of the Wizard of Oz, especially as a kid, and I thought this is really cute. I'm going to stitch this. I'm stitching this on a 14 count Aida by Witchold. And that's where I'm working. What I worked on this last month is I finished the lion, and then I added the mushrooms and the lollipop, and I guess it's an apple. I just realized I haven't put the leaves in the apple. Oh, I need to do that. So that's what I worked on this last month. I think it's really cute. I kind of want to get started on the come over to this side and start working on the Tin Man. I just feel like this is one of those two that is going to take me forever because there's so much stuff in here, but it's really cute. This next one is by Katarina, the Stitchy Princess. This is called Magical Forest. I am stitching this on a 14 count Aida by Swigart. It's medium green. And I started this in April of 2022. I just saw this chart. When Ukraine started going into war with Russia or vice versa, um, she's been posting and creating charts. And to support her, I just thought this was a really cute, funky chart. And so I've been stitching on that. I finished the top box and this white guy here. So I'm done with page 1 and I'm going to move on, and hopefully, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to stitch on the tree, finish this tree, or move on here. So I haven't decided that yet. When I pick it up again, I'll make that decision. But there's that one. Oh, by the way, I don't iron my fabrics before I come on video. I take them out of the bags and clip them, and off I go. So yeah, some of them will be wrinkled. I do apologize for that. But there's that one. This next one was a chart that I won from a freebie. This is called Farm Life by Itzo Emma. This is really cute chart. This is another one. This is one that I did buy the color and cotton fabric pack from Fat Quarter Shop. So there's a lot of, there's variegation in there. This is another one that, I like it, but I'm trying to still figure out how I'm going to do the variegation part. So I don't know if you can see it there. Let me try this side. No. So this last month, what I did is I worked on this piece here. I've had all this done, and then I just kind of added some more to this. This was from on the Baringo challenge. I don't know if I have enough lighting there or not. Sorry. But this is one of the ones that I worked during the Baringo challenge. It's really cute. I just want to finish it. I want to get going. But those variegated fabrics, flosses, they really get to me. I'm hoping that one day I can just think it's like DMC and be done with it. This next chart is from Well Hello There. This is a monthly, there's a chart for every month. And the one I am working on is April, which is that one right there. If you can see it. My idea was I started stitching this back in August. So I started this in August, hoping that I would get a few done and I can finish them and post them in my office and use them as calendar type things. I have finished the first 3 months, so I'm working on April, but I haven't FFO'd them yet. So this will probably be something that I'll use to display at work next year. I just have to keep working on it and just get going. I did buy the button pack for the first 3 months. I don't know if you can tell, there's some buttons there. So I bought the button packs for the first 3 months. I just haven't put them on there and finished the project. So that's a slow one going too, but I figured I have a year. But my goal is really to stitch one a month and finish it in a month. They're really short, they're small, so it doesn't take a lot of time. It's just I have to make time. So this next one is called Let's Talk Stitching. This is by Hands On Design. I started stitching this back in May. It's stitched on 16 count Aida by Swigart, and it's black. And I'm stitching the big piece. This one I also did put a lot of progress in this last month. I finished the word Aida, I did linen, and I stitched these 2 crosses here. Oh, that doesn't look very good. And again, if you can tell here, I haven't finished this piece here, but I got bored with this, what do you call that? Floss tag. So I just kind of moved on here. If I'm in one section for a long time and I just lose interest and I have to move on, I move on and I start somewhere else. I guess I'm kind of ADHD like that. Not so much ADHD, no. Maybe OCD, I don't know. But there's that one. I noticed when I put the picture up, my lighting goes crazy. This next one I think is one of my favorites. This was the first time I started stitching. I stitch any Primrose Cottage stitches. This one is called Hive Rules. This one also came out on Nashville Market, Needlework Market last year. I just saw it and I thought it was so cute. So I had to purchase it. It's called Hive Rules. In this last month, what I did was I finished the word like honey. I finished this, and then I kind of started working down here. And this is where it's at. I really like the colors on this. So I did like honey, and then I did this piece here. I thought this little bow here turned out really cute. I'm not one to really like back stitching, but that turned out so cute. I really like that. And then one of the things that I do, I know this looks kind of off, but one of the things I do is if I'm working with a color and it's running out, the strand's running out, rather than put it back on my floss tag, I just want to use it up. So that's what I did here. I jumped down here and I started this piece down here, which is this bead down here. So I just started that. And that's what I do. I will jump around. I do count 2, 3, 4, 5 times to make sure I'm not missing it. But hopefully I got that in the right place. But there's Hive Rules. This next one, I actually started it in February. This is another one by Katarina, the Stitching Princess. I purchased this as well with the other one just to support her during the war. And I just thought this is a really cute chart. I'm stitching this on a 14 count Ada by Swigart, the color Mist. And I just have a little start. I started this on the 9th, and that's all I was able to get in for that month or for that day. So not a whole lot of start, but it's a start. I don't know if there's any rules about how many stitches you have to do to start. Some people will say 200 stitches is a start. To me, if it's got more than 5 stitches is a start. I don't count stitches, so if I had to do a challenge where I had to count stitches, I will have to do that manually. I don't use any apps or my tablet to do my stitches. I am a paper person, and I do use my marker, highlighter, whatever, to keep me on track. I do make a working copy, so haven't really decided on, I don't know that I can use a digital app. This one, I want to skip that one. This next one was also this actually I started on the 31st of January. I thought I had a picture. This one is also by Katarina from the Stitching Princess. This came from the Just Cross Stitch magazine for this quarter, this February 2023. I needed to find a winter piece for Baringo, and because this is called Rabbits in Winter, I said, why not? So that came from the magazine. Thought it was really cute, and I just knew I had to stitch it. And this is where I am. And I really like that. So I'm going to keep working on this. I don't know why. Her charts are just really cute. A lot of them are really funky, and I just think they're so cute. They're so cool to stitch. Um, I watch her on Facebook when she posts, when she puts out new ones, and some always in her shop. Just think they're really cute. They're different. To me, they're different. So there's that. This next one, I really put a lot of work into it as well in the last month. This was one of those that once I just was stitching, I just had to keep stitching. This is by the Blue Flower, Seasons of the Heart, Autumn. And this is my first Blue Flower, Janine McGowan's chart that I purchased. I started this on December 31st. What really drew me to this was that owl. I just thought that owl was so cute. So when I last showed this, I had only stitched, I started this stick here, the stem, this part here. That's all I had was just that piece. So I've put on a lot of work on this one. And I think this guy, little guy here, I think he is so cute. I had to finish him. I wanted to stitch here, but after an hour, I was done. I did stitch over the border and started to go up. Sometimes I find it difficult now. When I do borders like this, when you've got long rows, I will do one half a stitch, and then I will complete a stitch on my 10th stitch to keep track of the stitch. I didn't do that when I did this down here, and let me tell you, it took me forever to make sure I had enough stitches. I even had my son count the stitches for me because I couldn't keep track. So I had him do that for me. And so when I went to the side here, I decided, okay, that's it. I'm going to go the old-fashioned work, going to do half stitches up and complete a stitch when I go to 10. And that's really the only way I figured out to keep track of that. If you have any other ideas, let me know. I've tried putting in like a needle to mark it, but there's just so many sections there to go up that I just don't have enough of that. But this is a really cute one. I really like this. I like working on this one. This last one is also one of my favorite ones too. I worked on this. I've been working on this one for the last 3 days. So I've been able to put some progress on this. This is a Teresa Kogut's chart, Love Your Family. And this is from her Let Love Rain booklet that came out at Nashville. Did this come out at Nashville? I think so. I think this came out at her market last year. So I'm stitching on that. On my last video, I think the only thing I had done was the bird and this section up here. Since then, I've added this vase and started with the house. Again, you see how I started here. Once I got down here, I started working here because I get bored with sections like that. But I really like this. I like the color. These are DMC colors. I am using the call for colors. That's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. We're at 34 minutes, so that's great. My goal is to do, short videos, 30 to maybe 40 minutes. I don't stitch, I do stitch quite a bit, but that's been a lot of projects. I think the reason I had so many WIPs is because of Baringo. So there may not be a whole lot of projects in the future, but that's okay. I'll keep working on it, and I'll be back hopefully in 3 to 4 weeks, and hopefully I will have stuff that I can show you. Definitely will have another stackable for the month of March. Looking forward to that. I know those are really cute charts. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. Have a great week. And we'll see you again another day. Bye.